really close to me, actually. I'm in North London, in Islington.
Cool.
There we go. Great. Hi, well, very welcome. And I'm just going to say another quick hello to somebody else I haven't seen for a while. Oh, Jessie's in. In fact, I need to say hi to two people in that case. Hello, Jessie. Not seen you for ages. What time is
Hey
it in
Tori.
Australia?
It's only 1 a.m. It's not too bad. Last time it was 3 and I missed it because I slept through my alarm. So it's good to be here.
Ah, yes, nice to see you as well. And who else can I say hi to? Marcia, how are you? I'm giving page 5 a lot of love today. How are you, Marcia?
I'm good, thank you. Lovely to be here.
Nice to see you. And are you? Is this the first tutty you've managed to make for the Swingles project, or have you been able to get into a lot of sessions this time?
I haven't been able to come to the social, but yes, I think I came to the first one. Yes.
Great. Oh well, there's another social coming up at the end of the project, so hopefully we'll see you for that one.
Okay.
Anyway, I should stop yakking, but I can see lots of familiar faces and I can see lots of new faces. I try to talk to somebody new every time, but I don't always succeed. I'm going to press that magic mute button so that I'm afraid you're not going to be able to unmute yourselves. But hello, welcome to the hybrid tutty with the Swingles. Now, they are just having a little bit of last rehearsal. If I turn on their video, you might be able to see, oh no, I can't just yet, that they are running through their pieces. They are all together in the same room for a hybrid rehearsal, so we can hear how they actually rehearse and work through and prepare music when they are together. So I've had a little sneak preview whilst they've been sound checking, and I'm really looking forward to it. So they'll be joining us in just a moment for the rest of this session. But to start with, I thought we would start with a warm up. We might do a little warm up when we get the Swingles. So we're just going to do a little stretch and shake and get everybody focused. And then we're going to go to looking at some of the little bits at the top and tail end of home and making sure that we can sing it and that we know it really well, ready for when the Swingles join us. So there we go, that's that. So join me please if you're able, standing up. Do whatever's comfortable for you. Let's find a nice space. I am a little itinerant today, so I am on my I'm in a random room in the middle of Hatfield, like you do. So have a little stretch out to the sides. Oh, that's it. And up to the top. And let your arms down. Circle your shoulders round. And back. Slowly coming to a stop. There we go. And shoulders back. And forwards. Back. Forwards, whatever's comfortable for you. Shake a little bit of water off your hands, especially if it's a weird time of day for you. Just get yourself a little bit focused so that we are in the best place to take advantage of this session. Great stuff. All right. It's weird sitting in front of a computer. I find it tends to make me do this. So we're just going to pay a little attention to the back of our neck and give the back of our neck a bit of love. So take a hand, give me a wave. I love it. Nice. I like seeing that on with everybody on Facebook. On Facebook? What am I talking about? On Zoom. Pop your fingers down the back of your neck and just check in with your spine. Hello, spine. See if it's in alignment or not. And we're just going to take another breath like this. You've got almost like you're plugging your fingertips into your vertebra, each vertebra. Take a deep breath like that. And breathe out. And I don't know if you feel this, but as I breathe out, I feel like my spine has a chance to come more into alignment. If I'm like this, if I take a breath in, as you breathe out, you can really line that up. So let's just do that one more time, breathing in and breathe out. Great. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to add a little bit of humming onto it. So you are a 360-degree musical instrument. So imagine that the humming sound is coming out where your fingertips are touching your spine. So breathe in for me. And then just nice gentle hum. You can actually feel the vibration through your fingertips. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in and breathing out to a nice hum. Great, good. Get your fingers, those very same fingertips, and you're just going to massage your cheeks a little bit. There we go. Goldfish face. Cross toddler face. Goldfish face. Gosh, try saying that 3 times. Cross toddler face. One has a lot more tension than the other. Can we all just be goldfish for 5 seconds? That was very enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. We're going to add the hum onto that. So, yeah, 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 yeah. You're not making any singing noises. You're just vocalizing. Here we go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Good. Now we're going to add gradually more and more energy onto this. This style of pop singing that we're doing with the Swingles is so much about natural speech-based singing. You know, you're not manufacturing a sound, you're not making an operatic sound. It's very much based on the spoken voice, sort of enhanced and exaggerated into a pop style of singing, okay? So we don't want to be going, yeah, 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 yeah. It's not the style we're going for. Start from a speaking place and then just get that more and more energized, okay? So we're going to go, yeah, yeah, go, yeah, yeah. Good. Give it a little bit more of a bounce. Yeah, yeah, go, yeah, yeah. Good. Now, one thing that you get a lot here is the oh, oh, ooh, oh. But I want to just take the glottal off the beginning of that because it's not very good for warming up. So we're going to go, oh, go. Oh. And if you want to have a little inflection there, you're not just going, oh, 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 oh. You've got a little pitch bend. Oh, let's go up one. My turn, and then we'll do it together. Oh, go. Oh, one more. Oh, go. Oh. Okay, this is nice and simple, but we're just staying in that spoken voice place. Now, if you'd like to, you can harmonize with me. So if I'm giving you this note, you can get for this one or this one, and have a go at harmonizing with me. I'm just going to sing what you can take as the tonic, or you can just sing in unison with me. So pick a harmony note or just sing in unison. We're going to go up one. Oh, have a go together. Oh, up a semitone. Oh, good. We're going to add the released breath onto that as well. So we're going, oh, release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a release for 6, 7, 8. It's kind of like an 8-beat loop we're going to do. Starting here, if you'd like to harmonize, you can go to here or here. 2, 3. Oh, release. Up a semitone. Oh, and release. Oh, really release the breath. Oh, 2 more. Oh, and release. Oh, nice, good. So we should have gradually got from a speaking voice place into more of a belty pop style singing place. How exciting. Right, let's have a full sing through, please. So I'm just going to share the video. Can you grab your copies? We should be in a position where we can at least sort of make a sort of cursory trip through the whole piece now. So I'm looking to Jessie and Deborah and Steve to see if you can. Oh, hello, that's interesting. Haha, you can see YouTube. Haha, great. One moment, let me just get ourselves back to the right. That was you. That was you guys. That should be better. Yeah. Share screen. Right, now I'm looking for a thumbs up that people can see and hear this. Gonna get rid of the various adverts which YouTube wants to show everybody. Lovely YouTube. And go on, let's have Jamie doing the clap for old time's sake. Okie dokie. So, ready to clap? And just give me a thumbs up if the audio is coming through loud and clear.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm searching for a home now, feeling all alone and by myself. Living in a strange land, am I trying to change who I am? Planes and trains and boats and cars, we're traveling on these ever-changing roads. Dreaming of familiar places, passing unfamiliar faces. Where am I meant to go? I don't know. I don't know where I belong. Everywhere feels like home. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I should be. Oh, changing, keep on changing me. Looking back towards home now, switch the lens to show it clearer. Looking back to see the view, questioning the memories distorted by a rosy filter hue. Coca-Cola's accessories to federalize into a zipline. Wishing for a world unmoving till we feel a bit more human. When will we know the way? I don't know where I belong. Ooh, feels like home. I'm not sure where I should be. Keep on changing me.
Oh, I love having a boogie to that every single time. Right, okay. It is with great pleasure that I remove the spotlight from myself. We are joined here by the Swingles, the wonderful, wonderful Swingles, and I'll be handing over to the gang. Jamie et al. Are you there?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Can you hear us?
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Hello, hello.
Ooh. We can't hear Tori now.
Oh, no.
Is Tori muted herself?
Can you hear us? You can hear
Yes,
us.
we can
could-
hear you, Jamie. We can
I
hear
was
you, Swingles.
Waiting
Hear
for
that.
Tori.
We can hear her
Wonderful.
now.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're actually in the same place for a change, which is rather unusual. But welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Great.
I wasn't meant to introduce then, so I'll hand straight over to John.
Yeah, leave it to Jamie Two Hat Swingle over here. Great. So yeah, thanks so much for being here. As each workshop is a bit different, and not everyone is at every single workshop, we thought we'd introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit more about who we are as individuals, because our name isn't just Swingle, each of us. So we're going to, tell you our name, where we're from, a little bit about what we do in the Swingles, how long we've been in the Swingles, and also our favorite cereal. So I'll go first. My name's John Smith. Very easy name to remember or easy to forget, depending on how you feel about it. I am from New York, as you might tell from my accent, or New York. And I have been in the Swingles for 5 years now. And I sing tenor, I do some vocal percussion. On one tour I sang bass, so that's pretty cool. And my favorite cereal is Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles.
Never heard of it.
Like the Flintstones, Fruity Pebbles. And over to
Hello, my name is Federica. I am originally from Italy, been in the group now for 3 years. Half of those spent not singing with the group, but it's fine, I'll make up for it. I sing mostly soprano in the group, and what was it? Cereal. Cereal? Could be Kellogg's Special K chocolate, dark chocolate.
nice.
Over to Joe.
Hello, I'm Jo. I've been in the group for about 15 years now, which is slightly mad, but that's fine. What else was I
She
supposed to say?
joined when
From
she was
London.
6.
Originally from London, and my favourite cereal would have to be Lucky Charms.
Nice.
Handing over to Ollie.
Hello, my name's Oliver. I'm sing tenor in the group, and actually, I will have been in the group for 11 years in a fortnight. Isn't that weird? My favourite cereal, I'm going to go with Jordan's Country Crisp Strawberry Edition. That one is delightful and has all the sugar, which probably is why I'm often a little bit bouncy. Midge.
Hi everyone, I'm Midge. I met lots of you at our amazing soprano and alto sectional. That was fun. I'm from London. I sing a mixture of soprano and alto in the Swingles, which is so fun. And my favourite cereal is Frosties, but I don't have them very much. Or
No, just one. That's all you get.
okay, Frosties.
Oh, I'm from Bristol, by the way. I forgot to say that. Just
Eduardo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ed. I sing bass in the group and have been doing so for 9 years. I'm originally from South London, and my favourite cereal has to go to Honey Nut Loops, as they used to be called. I was a big fan of Honey Nut Loops as a kid, and I used to. There's a little drawing that I did when I was about 3, where I've done a sort of X-ray cross section with my tummy, and you can see I've done little loops, like little O's, showing all the Honey Nut Loops that I'd been eating every day.
Great.
Well, I wasn't expecting to
Took a
be asked
turn.
my favourite cereal. That was a surprise. Hello, I'm Jamie. I've met some of you at least. Hi, Hi. I'm from London. I am part of Stay at Home Choir as well. My favourite cereal is Cinnamon Grahams because it is the best cereal. That's it. It's better than all the ones been mentioned. So there we go.
Pass.
But anyway, you're probably here to do some singing rather than talk about cereal, aren't you? No? No? Okay. Thanks for joining, everyone. Shall we start with just trying to get a little bit of that sound for home? Because obviously, lots of us that have done lots of choral stuff before might be thinking, how on earth do I get this twangy, bright sound all the way through? And John is just going to help us with a very quick warm-up. So join us standing up if you're able, or make sure you're sitting ready to sing. Make sure you've got your score. If you haven't yet downloaded it, www.stayathomechoir.com. Go download it now. You should have done that already. Over to you, John.
Great. Thank you so much. So, we're going to explore the voice a bit and all the things it can do. And I think actually all the sounds in this exercise we might actually use in our performance of home. So, can we all yawn, please? Oh, thank you. Nice, raised, soft palate. And can we go, oh, oh. Yeah, again. Oh. And it really helps if you do the hand movements. Here we go. Ready, and oh. Lovely. So, when we're thinking about a choral sound, that's probably what we're used to singing through. You might hear some professional singers that talk like this because they constantly have their soft palate raised to achieve that even when they're speaking. So that's a nice raised soft palate sound, a more classical sound. And can we go, hey, hey, ready, and hey, hey. And let's have everyone standing for this. If you're at home, sitting in your chair, let's have you all standing. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, hey. Yeah, like you're like, in an army. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, hey. And now let's quickly go back to that classical sound. Ready, and oh. Back to belting. 3, 4. Hey, hey. Yeah, so sometimes in an arrangement we'll need to quickly change between those two sounds. And then the next one is nya, nya, nya. Nya, nya, nya. Yeah, and it actually helps if you do this. Nya, nya, nya. Nya, nya, nya. Right, so the full exercise is oh, hey, hey, nya, 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 with all three movements. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, hey, hey, nya, nya, nya. Great. So, do we feel exploratory through our voices?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that actually reminds me of one of the questions that we've had in from one of the members. Arco was asking, how do you cope when you're singing so many different styles in one gig and you're kind of having to turn on a dime and switch from one to the other? Do you find that's more vocally tiring?
And do you know what? I think all of us are quite geeky when it comes to technique. So we've put in the work to try and be able to switch between all of them. And actually, if you're doing any of these ones with a healthy technique, it's not tiring to switch between them because it's just utilizing muscles in the way that you've trained them. So doing exercises like this one that John has just given us that shows you that it's all just about placement of your musculature. The more you use that, it's like any other thing, you get better at it. You have muscle memory, you jump back to it, you're not having to wrangle your voice to do something if you're doing it with healthy technique. So I think for all of us, it's about doing the groundwork
But you're also
first.
not.
Yes, carry on, Tori.
And so you're not actually changing anything in your vocal setup. It's more like what happens sort of once it's past your larynx, you know, with everything that's in your mouth and your facial posture, right?
Yeah, and
the larynx position does change between those styles as well, for sure.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
So we talk about, and we'll cover this in singing in all styles, but there are a few different positions of the larynx that we can go through to achieve different sounds. Yeah. Cool. So why don't we open home get out our scores. And this first opening is meant to be a big opening, and it's funny, I purposely arranged a big opening because I think in all of our Swingle pieces we kind of like either like fade in or one voice at a time, and I wanted something to start with a bang. And it's that hey belting kind of sound, right on a glottal O, right from the start. So why don't we all do that together? We'll sing it. You sing it with us at home. Yeah. Do, do, do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Sweet. So, it's like you're kind of on a top of a mountaintop, or someone bumped into you on the street and you dropped your phone and you're like, oh! If you're a New Yorker, you definitely do that. Oh! What are you doing?
If you're Italian, you probably do that too. Oh!
Yeah, so you're looking for that kind of, oh!
If you're British, you'd say, sorry.
Can we all just do that oh? Ready, and oh! Yeah, so that's the kind of onset. You want a nice glottal. We're not kind of setting it up in any way. We want the sound just to be free and come out right away. Let's do that section one more time with all of you at home. Here we go. Do, do, do. 1, 2, 3. Sweet. Awesome. And then we have some nice swingle stuff happening. Before we move on, just any questions about that particular section?
I mean, we can open it up to the floor, dare I say it, and we have a quick sling through and see if there's anybody crazily waving. But to be honest, most people just looked like they were singing their little hearts out. It sounds amazing. You guys, it's so fantastic to hear you all in the same room together. I can't see anybody waving, so let's crack straight on.
Great, cool. And then the only thing I'll say about that is if you can't do it all in one breath, feel free to just take a quarter note or a crotchet breath and come back in a choir of, 1,000 people. We'll all be covering each other's breaths in that section. So, cool. So, moving on to chorus 1. If you're in the tenor and bass sectionals, we talked a bit about this, but each chorus grows and grows. So for this first chorus, it definitely is powerful, but we don't want to give too much away. It's only marked mezzo forte here. It's a strong but also kind of sweet sound to relate to the lyrics. So why don't we sing that all together from chorus 1. It's the last measure of page 2, last bar of page 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know. Oh, everywhere feels like home. I'm not sure. Oh, changing me.
Great. And if you've not been in the sectionals, that changing at 45 should be changin'. The same one as before. There's no G at the end. We want it to be really conversational. And the way I would say that is it's changing me rather than changing me. And there should also be a crescendo through measures 46 and 47. The same way it happens at the top of page 3. Speaking of that kind of speechy quality, there's a few kind of words in here that I think we would sing much differently than if we were in a more classical choir. I'm not sure. We're definitely going through the diphthong in I'm. I'm not sure, rather than I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And sure, it's kind of like down by the shore, like shore kind of, rather than sure or shore. It says that Irish accent. Yeah, sure. And then, yeah, I think that was it. The other thing is at 36, making sure that can be just a bit more rhythmic. Everywhere. Just that we really accent those that syncopation there. Why don't we do that one more time?
It'd be
Chorus
really
one.
good to sing that again, yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
with all of those things in mind. Sorry. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Oh, everywhere feels like home. I'm not sure. Oh, changing me. Yeah, and if you could tell from us singing, we're definitely not singing super loud yet, only mezzo forte, because we still have so much more to go.
I'd like to actually point out a danger area here, particularly lower voices. As you try and crescendo in bar 47, measure 47 on page 4, the risk, particularly on an E vowel, is that you just start squeezing me, and you'll get all tense up here, and that's gonna work completely against you. Really avoid that temptation to push the voice. Your recording device is going to be so close that you don't need to work nearly as hard as you might if you were unamplified in a massive hall. So take it easy, enjoy singing this rather than thinking I have to really, really push and get the volume out.
Yeah, can we hear how our basses would do
Yeah.
that? At 45, changing. Here we go. 3, 4, 1.
Changing me.
Yeah, very nice. Why don't we all do changing me together? Yeah, just the last changing me. Beat 3 of bar 45. And y'all sing along as well. Here we go. 3, 4, 1. Changing me. Yeah, and something actually we all naturally do is we come down a little bit at the beginning of me so that we have somewhere to go in the crescendo. So if you want to mark that in your score, feel free. Moving right along.
Yeah, that's great.
Unless there are any questions so far, we'll keep moving on.
Tori, you can be on question monitor.
I think what's so interesting is hearing, it's hearing how well you guys blend together. I would love, it was so nice to hear Ed and Jamie, you guys together. I would love it if we could hear all of the lower voices just doing that section that you've just done. The Ollie, your part is so interesting, and then how Midge fits on top of it as well.
Cool. So why don't we do...
But if we could just hear the lower voices, that would be fab.
So alto tenor bass or just tenor bass?
Tenor bass.
Tenor bass. Great. From chorus 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know. Oh, everywhere feels like home. I'm not sure. Oh, changing me.
What I find really interesting there is you can hear how you like attack the start of a note. You've got quite a blocky attack on the front of notes. The changing. Could you talk a little bit about how you like do that healthily without sort of tightening up in the throat?
Yeah, so it's all about our little friend here, the epigastrium, or the button, or other people just refer to it as your whole diaphragm. But it's really engaging. Changing. You should, if you hold your, so it's basically just beneath your sternum. If you just find your sternum, the hard bit, and then go down, as soon as you feel that little mushy bit right in the center, that's your epigastrium. And if you go, shh, You should be able to feel it moving. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So if we go changing, you should be able to feel it moving a little bit. Here we go. Let's try right on. Why don't we try on O everywhere? So that's bar 35. Everybody.
We have some fresh starting notes.
Yeah. Here we go. 3, 4, 1. Oh, everywhere feels like home. Yeah. So it's definitely just a bit more support when we're using those kind of rhythmic
But it's not a lot, is it? It's very subtle.
No, yeah, it's definitely subtle. I think sometimes people run into the problem where they do it a little bit too much, and then they're like, changing, and they go off the note a little bit. It really just requires, a little extra 5%. Change.
Got to be cool about it.
And it's all about, this one is, it's about making the rhythmic information really clear. So if we're confident with feeling how that groove works and how that syncopation works, that will really inform how that happens as well. Because I think if we're trying to overthink it, that's when we might overshoot it and overdo it. But it's feeling that syncopation, really enjoying it, and allowing that to inform the way we sing as well.
And you'll notice early on,
Do you
those of
find
that
when
felt, I need to
you're,
learn this rhythm, is that you're going to want to push that change in, and you're going to put tension in your whole body. Whereas actually, if you can lay back and just be a little bit cool, not something I'm very good at. But if you can just lay back, change in, enjoy the rhythm, rather than having to be perfect about it, because it will be once you've learnt it.
Do you find when you're singing next to one another, you hear the person next to you and go, oh, that sounds cool, and you kind of absorb different little vocal idiosyncrasies from one another?
Yeah, it's funny. Yesterday, we actually sang our version of Happy Birthday, and we have sung that hundreds of times, and somehow in all of the time I've sung it, and Joe as well, and Jamie, the three of us have this part that we do together, this do-do in the middle of it, and we've never stood all three together for that. And it was so cool. We were in the middle of this video and we were like, do, all together at the same time. We were like, oh my gosh. So it's actually crazy that we constantly stand in different formations, and it totally changes the way, you feel things and your approach to things. So
it's also great, mimicry, particularly when you've got a base level of technique that you've worked on. Mimicry is a really amazing way to grow your instrument. Because, I might be like, oh, I really want to have this sound, a more pop sound. So I'm listening to John because he's a natural at producing that, and I'm watching his face and how his jaw is and how his, and then listening and then literally trying to copy the sound, which then informs how my body works. So, mimicry is a great way to push yourself stylistically as well.
So gang, whilst we're lucky enough to have the Swingles on camera in the Zoom room with us, let's just try and really tune into this pop sound and exactly how they're producing it. Go on. Guys, I don't want to chat. Carry on. Go.
Great. So let's move on to bottom of page 4, verse 2A. And for this sound, I'd like us all to think of a late-night radio host. And you're with John on Z100.3 in New York. Can we all say, hi, John?
Hi, John.
Yeah. Looking back to see the view. So we wanted a lot of breath, and we want it to be really, really smooth, as if someone was lulling you to sleep with their voice. Cool. Let's just demonstrate that. Right, the last 2 bars of page 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Looking back to see the view. Yes, cool. And then the other thing is, we're not, in that one, we're not really making so much of the consonants there. Looking back to see the view. Could we do that again? 1, 2, 3. Looking back to see the view. Yeah, why don't we do that with everyone singing along? Here we go. And then we'll go on this time. So we're starting the last 2 bars of page 4. 1, 2, 3. Looking back to see the view. Oh. Yeah, and that sub P, if you don't know, just means subito piano. which is a bit of Italian there.
Immediately piano.
Yes, immediately soft. So we've got this crescendo, and then immediately we back off right on the downbeat of bar 56. Let's do all of that one more time, and watching out for that specific part. Last 2 bars, page 4. 1, 2, 3. Looking back to see the view. Yeah, cool. And you can see that we still keep, we still have a breathy sound, even though we're starting to get a bit louder. And that just takes a lot more breath support. Breathy and loud is, takes so much more work than breathy and soft. Sweet. And then moving on, verse 2b, we're probably in a closer to choral sound in this world here, right from verse 2b.
John, could you play this? Could you sing the starting notes just so we've got it super close for everyone?
Ah, yes.
Or just put your mic
Or-
by the.
Is that where the mic is? Yeah. Sorry. Oh my gosh.
Spooky.
Here we go. Verse 2b. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and that is one very, very long phrase. And the trick to that is looking at the phrase before. You have a full bar of rest at the top of page 5. And what we don't want is, oh. If you breathe just the beat before that phrase in 2b, you're basically setting yourself up to run out of breath. What you really want to do is take that entire measure to really fill up the tank. Oh, triggered.
If you have to breathe in that phrase, it's totally fine. We'd rather you have enough breath to get through the phrase and not be dying or getting quieter towards the end. This bit, it's a nice big choral sound, as John said, so the more supported it feels, the better. But if you can do it in one breath, great.
And
That's the
especially
challenge.
if you do have to breathe, if you can keep the O vowel shape in your mouth, like think about breathing O with an O vowel, then it will make your breath quieter and less audible in the mix.
Yes. Sweet. So why don't we try going from the bottom of page 4 all the way through to the top of page 6. From looking back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Looking back to see the view. Keep going. When will we know the way? Yeah. And as you can see on the top of 6, it says rhythmic energy over the when will we know? And I like to say use those W's as trampolines. When will we know? To really bounce off of that rhythm. Can we all just do when will we know? 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 Yeah, and another thing is that we actually go straight to the N. When will we know? Instead of when will we know? When will we know? When will we know? When will we know? Sweet, great. Can we just sing right from when will we know the way? 1, 2, 3. When will we know the way? Awesome. And then something else that came up in sectionals is the word the. It's the least important word in the entire phrase and in most sentences when it's in the middle of a sentence. maybe, I don't know. But in this case, it is definitely not important. So we're going to go, when will we know the way? It's almost like a schwa. The way. It's just really closed down rather than the way. Let's do it one more time, that rhythm, and just really paying attention or not paying attention to the. A little fresh starting note. 1, 2, 3. When will we know the way? Awesome. Any questions so far about anything in verse 2? Kind of have a
So I found
bunch of
myself
different sounds.
instinctively doing a mega diphthong on the end of way. The way. How do you guys deal with that so that you all cut off at the same time and that one person isn't left going at the end?
Yeah, we pretty much leave it right.
You leave it open?
I think we leave it right till the end. I think in a more traditional choir setting, you probably would leave it off or maybe be really pedantic about it, but we try to be super speechy with it. When will we know the way? So kind of just happens.
During beat 4, if
Yeah.
you close it down.
Yeah, during beat 4.
I think the big difference with diphthongs like this, and John just used the word speechy again, in standard classical choral music, you might overdo the diphthong. Way. You'd make it very extreme in a sense, or at least by comparison. But because this is so much like speech, you wouldn't ever say, when will you know the way? So it's tempering this if you don't work too hard. It's something I've definitely had to work a lot.
And as soon as you think about it, you then start focusing on it too much and it all goes to hell in a handcart. Could we possibly hear you do it one more time now that we're all thinking about it so we can hear how like gently you treat it?
Awesome, great. Yeah, right from 64. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. When will we know the way? Yeah, little hey, right at the end there.
Hey,
Don't overthink
because it's you can hear the word, but you're just not doing anything too sort of manufactured with it, which is but without losing the sense of the word.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think,
That was a statement rather than a question.
And it's what Jamie said, it's not snatching it. Take a full crotchet to do the sound. Take your time with it. Because that's, we don't ever do it snatched, those sort of diphthongs, sort of word.
Nice.
And if in doubt, like Ollie, what you said about listening to people and just picking up inflection from listening and modelling, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like it doesn't need to be sort of, we don't need to have a note duration put on it.
That's how I learned to sing a cappella. Like, I never sang a cappella before in my life, before joining the Swingles. And the way that I learned is at my audition. I was just listening, like, what is going on in this room?
Well, that must have been a learning curve.
And I learned
amazing.
miming and keeping everything I could from them. And I still am doing it, and I will always do.
That is so interesting to hear, Feds, because lots of the questions we've had coming in are about, how did you find your route into the Swingles? Janine said, how did each one of you join the Swingles? How did you meet? What is the most important quality, Brian was asking, that is required when you find a new member? Like, what was it like, Feds, being in that room for the first time? And you've just said a little bit, but would you tell us some more about how it felt?
So I came from like rock, pop, gospel kind of function bands world. Never sang a cappella, never studied classical music, never sang classical music ever in my life. And I've only heard about choral music, like joining the Swingles. Then when I moved to UK, I didn't have any idea what choral sound would mean. And I still I'm trying to figure out when they say choral vowels. Like, I don't know what choral vowel means.
I don't know.
I don't know where I belong. And when I joined, I tried to focus on my mimicry powers. And I basically listened to the sound that they were producing and tried to replicate it in the best way I could do it, even if I didn't know technically how to do it, because yeah, again, I never sang a cappella, never sang the way that they sing before joining. So I really tried to listen to the tracks they sent me before the audition and try to replicate that at home. Of course, when I joined, my sound was not quite correct. The vowels were not quite correct. The stop, like it was kind of rough, but it's getting there slowly. But yeah, if you, I didn't feel any, not shame. How do you say? I didn't feel ashamed to mime them, even if I didn't know how to do it, because maybe it's something that you've never done before, and you say, "Oh God, it's something that it doesn't belong to me. I don't know how to." It's so embarrassing. I just didn't think about it.
It's a lesson, I think, for everybody listening to you.
Yeah,
and
just
actually,
don't worry
just in the
about it, just
chat
go
here,
for it.
Jessie. Yeah, in the chat here, Jessie said something very interesting. That in English-speaking countries, we refer to Italianate vowels as sort of proper vowels in inverted commas, and yet it's all subjective, And somebody coming and learning about how people from the UK sing choral music are discovering a whole load of different sort of, I suppose, preconceptions about what is right and what is the sort of standard way to do it, when in fact there are as many different ways as there are people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even today in
Yay!
rehearsal, Federica, you were trying to sing an R vowel or something, and you tried out 12 different ways of singing an R vowel. She was going, ah, 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 but that's a good lesson, don't be scared to try out different things until you get the right sound. Like when you're learning home and you don't think you're getting the twang sound, try and overdo it. It might sound silly, but just go for it, and then you can come back from it. But try out loads of different things and see what comes out.
Yeah.
It's so easy to have directors who
And
will
Midge,
talk
actually,
about
just to link that
correct.
back, guys.
I just finished. It's so easy. Those of us that have got very particular, and maybe directors that might use the word maestro, you all know who I mean. Where it's so easy to think of a particular type of singing as correct, or there's one right thing, and it's I think quite common in the choral world. But in all sorts of genres, it's very easy to think, well, the genre I sing is correct singing. Everything else is just not quite as good. But as Tori says, there are a million ways of singing, as many as there are people. So embrace the variety that you have in your voice, because you're not an instrument. You have, infinite combinations of sounds you can make.
Yay. I'm sorry if I'm talking over anybody. There's a little delay coming through on my end, so it's nothing personal. But I was just going to loop back in what Midge said. About 12 different types of R vowel, to exactly what John was saying at the beginning about placement. What Midge is talking about there is placement, guys. You can sing 12 different types of R vowel depending on where you choose to place it, and it's links back. It's exactly the same concept as we were doing right at the beginning when John was taking us through that twang exercise. So hopefully that might just connect the dots for some people who are wondering about what placement actually is when it's at home. Great. Let's do some more singing.
Yeah. Great. So why don't we head on over to chorus 2. That's the bottom of page 6, starting at measure 68 or bar 68. And this one is marked forte, so a bit louder than the first chorus. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know where I belong. Ooh, feels like home. I'm not sure where I should be. Ooh, changing the
Cool. So what Ollie just did there, we'll turn this into a learning moment. That's what that P means. At the end of bar 82, what we want is there to be absolutely no sound on beat 4. So, oh, and we close down to a P. Sometimes at the end of a big choral piece, your director will be like, and you sing a big ah, your director will be like, oh, keep your mouth open so that it continues to reverberate around the room. That is not what we want in this moment. We want complete silence, because silence in music will make the next part of music so effective. So if we have that beat of complete silence, then into that subito piano, breathy,
But
it'll make it.
Don't be an Ollie and get overexcited and pronounce the P. That's what you mustn't do. Oh.
Yes. Just
Oop.
close it. Yes.
I get excited sometimes. What can I say? Singing's fun.
Sweet. So I want to point out 2 parts here. So we're forte for most of this chorus, except for 2 parts. That's the beginning of bar 72, measure 72. We come back to a mezzo forte, and that's basically just so that we have somewhere to go in the crescendo in the next 2 bars. And then the same thing happens in bar 80. We're coming back to a mezzo forte so that we have somewhere to go from the crescendo. Can we do chorus 2 again with those dynamic notes in mind?
Well, can we just talk about the forte piano as well for anyone that's not familiar with that?
Yes.
So a forte piano means that you hit the front of the note forte, as if it was forte, and then you immediately come back to a piano. So, which is a really cool effect.
Yeah.
You're going to need those tummy muscles that Tom was...
Yeah.
John, is another member, that John was talking about. So to hit the
What's
note...
it called?
Tummy muscle. Epidural.
The epigastrium.
Epigastrium, our friend.
There'll be a quiz at the end,
Your friend of
everyone.
mine.
Your friend of mine, the epigastrium, featuring chorus 2. Here we go. So chorus 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know where I belong. Ooh, feels like home. I'm not sure where I should be. Ooh, changing me. Oh.
Cool. And the other thing is where we have on the bottom of page 6, the last measure, the upper voices singing where I belong, and then the bottom of 7, where I should be, or where I should be, or where I should be. Sorry, I don't know the alto part. In those parts, that is the important part. And the lower voices are quite low in their register, so feel free not to push. Even if it's not a forte, I think we're going for just a bit more of a breathy sound there. So feel free not to push in those low moments for the lower voices. Great, can we do that just one more time? Chorus 2, with all of those things in mind. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know where I belong. Ooh, feels like home. I'm not sure where I should be. Ooh, changing me. Oh.
Yeah, love that beat of silence. Great.
Oh my God, you guys are so on it. It is like slicing it off with a razor blade. You're making me feel a little bit nervous if I go a millisecond over and no one else can hear me when I'm singing along with you.
It's funny, we actually do talk about that a lot in the Swingles. Even when we're not closing to a P, well, especially when we're not closing to a P, sometimes it's really easy to hold a little bit into the rest. And we are quite pedantic about our rests. And I think that's what makes it kind of so tight. And we talk a lot about thinking about cutting off, like, a millisecond before the rest. That way, you're not actually holding over into that next beat. You're not actually cutting off before the time, but just thinking about it really, really helps. So even in a place like the I don't know, that whole crotchet of nothing there, making sure that we're not carrying over into that, even though there's not a P to stop us.
Yeah, I've heard it called articulating the silence before, which is funny because you
love
can't
that.
articulate silence. Or can you?
I really like
more
that.
from the real group because it's an active 4. Like when you've got that beat 4 of silence, make it an active 4.
Yeah.
Like it's really present and there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Silence
If you-
is part
yeah.
of music.
Golden, golden. Sorry, I'll be.
Sweet. Shall we move on to the bridge? Great.
I'm
Let's
going to
take it to
request
the
that
bridge.
all of you make a marking in your score at this point, because that active silent crotchet rest that we have, I would put money on a large number of you going, oh. So just make a note now. £5 breath, nice release breath. It should be silent.
Yes. Silent. Great. So, bridge part 1. Obviously, there are no rests written in this entire section, and that's just because at the top of that section it just says stagger breaths, which means breathe throughout as you see fit, because we'll all cover each other's breaths. I think most people's instinct is to breathe after 2 bars or after 4 bars. But we need some people to breathe, after 1 bar, after 3 bars, or in the middle of a bar. That way, we can all kind of cover each other's breaths there. So, and as Midge said before, don't try to be a hero. We want everyone's most beautiful tone. So, take a breath where you need to. This is nice and piano, nice and breathy. Let's sing Bridge Part 1. 1, 2, 3. So something we talked about in the sectionals is trying not to breathe. The only place I'd ask most people not to breathe, if we can, is between 90 and 91. So that's when we're going from the moo. So we're all going to be a choir of cows at that moment. Going from the to oo. Let's try not to breathe so that it's a nice moo, and it kind of opens up just by opening up the vowel. And the same thing goes for the end of that section when we open to the O between 96 and 97, opening from oo to O. Ooh, oh. And that'll actually start the crescendo already just by opening the vowel there. And one more thing to think about in this section, something that Jamie said before, is quiet breaths. Because this section is so soft, what we don't want is this beautiful part. Just because it then gives you like a panicked feeling when you hear those loud breaths. So try to take a nice deep breath, even if that means dropping out for 2 beats to make sure that you can take a nice quiet breath. That's totally fine. Nice quiet breath throughout.
And just easing back in when you rejoin as well.
Yeah.
So not having a hard end to the note when you rejoin, but just ease back in.
Yeah, definitely. So let's do that bridge part 1 section, top of page 8, the 4th bar, all together.
Reminder for our lovely altos. that you have a lot of E flats again and again, some Fs. But remember to sing this like it's the most special E flat you're ever going to sing. And enjoy it. When you repeat it, you can grow and diminuendo throughout the phrase and enjoy it. It's a nice note.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and feel free to make that last crescendo probably going all the way to forte by the end. Again, we don't want anyone pushing so that the pitch starts to waver, but the next bridge part 2 section is where the party starts. So we want a nice big crescendo to lead us into that section. Sweet. Any questions about that
No,
section?
I'm just having a little dance, getting ready for the party.
I'm going to say one thing about timing in that section, because as the texture becomes far more sparse, you're going to be listening for timing. You're going to be listening to John's solo over the top, which is quite quiet on those tracks. Regardless of what's going on in music, ever, you should always have the sense of pulse in the back of your brain. And I always say to my choirs, imagine you've got a little jazz drummer in the back of your brain just going subdividing that beat for you all the way through. So keeping on that timing. You should be keeping that in mind yourself rather than relying on other things to give you that information. Keep that sense of timing.
It's a little elf Jamie on your shoulder.
Little elf Jamie. That's Christmas sorted.
Sweet.
Sorted.
And here we have our oh! Someone walked into you in the street and made your phone drop and crack. Here we go with this next section in bridge part 2 with the alto part. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, oh, ooh, oh, 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 ooh, oh, 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 ooh, oh.
Yeah, so again, it's that super free sound, very similar to the sound that we do right in the beginning of the piece. Altos, I know I gave you a lot of E flats in the last section, but at least these E flats have a party vibe to it and are a bit more interesting, so giving back. Can we all try that together? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, oh, ooh, oh, 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 ooh, oh, 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 ooh, oh.
Yeah, and this is a cool experiment because your part is red, it means you'll be a recorded loop during that part. Sing what's there, and we'll handle the looping later. But yeah, we're just going to try to loop hundreds and hundreds of altos. I think there might be a Guinness Book of World Records record in there. The most looped voices in a song, which would be super cool. Great, and this next... we have the home bits, and Jamie will sing alto 2 in the next section.
Will I? Cool.
Just a reminder, because it's your part in the arrangement.
Cool.
Cool. Let's go with the home, starting at the end of page 9. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, 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 oh,
Yeah, so that's definitely, that last chord there is definitely the climax of the piece, the most intense. Great. Can we just hear the lower voices, tenors and basses on those homes? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Home. 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 Yeah, great. And especially when you're belting up there, you're probably going to be like, home, and you want to like hold on forever because it's really fun, but please cut off at the end of beat 4. And then can we hear the 2 soprano parts there? 1, 2, 3.
Home, 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 home.
Yeah, gorgeous. So this is our huge gospel choir moment. Why don't we sing that all together? Let's leave out the altos this time. So if you feel free to sing whichever part if you're singing alto. Cool. From the last bar of page 9. One, 2, 3. Home. 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 Great. And we won't do chorus 3 because it is an exact replica of chorus 2. I think, looking at the time, it's probably time for another sing through all together.
That sounds absolutely great.
Sweet.
Something that's really going to help you achieve this bright, belty tone. I can't belt, so I'm faking it, but you can all fake it too, is smiling. If you smile the whole way through this song, it will really brighten that tone, and it'll, not that choral singers don't smile, but it's a heavier kind of oh tone. And if you smile, it's immediately ah. It's just a quick tip. So yeah, from this very first note that you're going to sing, biggest smiles on your face. And someone asked me in one of the sectionals, are we allowed to dance? Yes,
Please
you
do.
are. Please dance as much as you want, as much as Tori is dancing.
That's dropping me in it. Yeah, okay, cool. Right, I am going to just cue up the video. Give me just a moment, Swingles. I'm afraid it's nothing personal, Swingles. I'm going to put you on mute and I'm going to remove your spotlight. Here we go. Okay, guys, so make sure you're sitting well or standing. You want to be able to move freely, like Midge just said, and hopefully have a little bit of a boogie. Again, I'm going to be looking to Anne, Karen, and Siska to give me a thumbs up that all of this is working as it should. Can you see that? And can you hear this? Give me a thumbs up. Great.
I'm searching for a home now, feeling all alone and by myself. Living in a strange land, am I trying to change who I am? Planes and trains and boats and cars, we're traveling on these ever-changing roads. Dreaming of familiar places, passing unfamiliar faces. Where am I meant to go? I don't know. I don't know where I belong. Everywhere feels like home. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I should be. Oh, changing, Looking back towards home now, switch the lens to show it clearer. Looking back to see the view, questioning the memories distorted by a rosy filtered hue. Our clothes, accessories to federalize into a zipline. Wishing for a world unmoving till we feel a bit more human. When will we know the way? I don't know where I belong. Who feels like home? I'm not sure where I should be. Places keep on changing me. Feels like home. I'm not sure where I should be. Places keep on changing me.
And there it is. Cracking. Well done, team. I looked through some faces there and I could see a lot of people smiling and beeging away and having a little bop. Fantastic. Okay, we've got time for just a couple of questions, and then we are so lucky that the Swingles are going to be singing a couple of pieces especially for us to round off the session. So I'm going to start. We're going to open it out to the floor. We've got time for about 2 questions. Give me a wave if you have a burning question to ask the Swingles. Let's keep score and logistical questions out of the picture. Can I ask Anne-Martine, what is your question?
Yes, I don't know if it has to do with music, but I'd like to know why Ollie is wearing different socks, 2 different socks. I love it because I'm doing it too.
Yeah, join the Odd Sock Club. Do you know what? What I've decided in life is that life is too short to sort socks after laundry. So if there are 2 socks that are vaguely in the same colour world, they become a pair. And then my life is interesting every day. And that's how it works.
That's an excellent question.
Ooh,
wow.
I can't deal with
Thanks,
that
Anne-Martine. You've started us off on an absolutely cracking line there. Thanks, Anne-Martine. Go on, give me a wave if you have a burning question to ask of the Swingles. Who are we going to go to? View gallery. Oh, who's waving the most enthusiastically? Everybody's being very polite. Rita.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, loud and clear.
Hi, everyone. Really enjoyed that. That was fabulous. Bar, I think it's bar 82. I've got a note that says to change to R, but you guys carried on with the O on the FP there.
It's definitely O.
It's definitely O.
Changing, yeah. O
Cheers.
with a P at the end. Yep.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. And let's have just one more. Again, let's try and keep logistical and score questions out of the picture and see if we can. If you have something burning, you can ask the Swingles anything you like. Elizabeth Phillips Rennie, what would you like to ask the Swingles? Oh, you're there.
Hi, sorry, I unmuted and then muted again. I'm just interested in the wine collection.
Woohoo!
That is Max's wine collection, who is our wonderful sound engineer behind us, who you can't see, but he does all the magic that makes us sound the way we sound.
Yeah, and we very much do consider Max our 8th Swingle. Yes, come say hi, Max.
There's Max.
There's Max. Yes, and
Hi, Max.
without Max, we definitely would not sound the way we do. So he's a very important member of our group.
And if you ask him nicely, he'll speak in fluent French about the merits of each one of these wines, because that is a skill of his.
There's a lovely English bottle of Chapel Down here as well.
Oh, I love Chapel Down. We'll have to, Max, we'll have to invite you to our social next week, and you can regale us with your party trick then.
Absolutely.
Guys,
looking very
could we
worried
hear you
about
sing
that.
something?
Yes.
This is a song. It's a traditional song originally from Afghanistan, and it is just a very joyful melody that always puts a smile on our faces, called "Lover's Desire."
Hanana, 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 hanana,
Awesome. Great. So thanks so much for joining us. We have one more for you because I can so see that you're all giving us a standing ovation, asking for more. Yes, we do have an encore. And this song is all about love. Let me tell you about a man I know. He's my baby and he lives next door. Every morning before the sun comes up, he brings me coffee in my favorite cup. That's why I know, yes I know, hallelujah, I just love him so. When I'm in trouble and I have no friend, I know he'll stay with me until the end. Everybody asks me how I know. I smile at them and say he told me so. That's why I know, yes I know, hallelujah, I just love him so. And if I call him on the telephone and tell him that I'm all alone, by the time I count from 1 to 4, I hear him on my door. In the evening when the sun goes down, when there is nobody else around, he kisses me and then he holds me tight and tells me that everything's alright. That's why I know, yes I know, hallelujah, I just love him so. Now if I call him on the telephone and tell him that I'm all alone, by the time I count from 1 to 4, I hear him on my door. In the evening when the sun goes down, when there is nobody else around, he kisses me and then he holds me tight,
Hold you tight,
and tells me that everything's alright. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I know, yes I know, hallelujah, I just love him so. Yes, hallelujah, I just love him so. Hallelujah, I love him so. Yeah.
Yay! Guys, you are amazing. I think I got kicked off Zoom for the first half of that, so I'm back on my phone. But I hope that people can unmute to show their appreciation. Thank you so much. There we go, guys. It has been such a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you so much for joining us. And I just can't believe what you're able to create in a living room. How about that, guys?
Great to
bye.
see you guys.
Bye.
See you soon.